there guys, my name's Wes. Today we're going to be making a game in Scratch. It'll be a top-down shooter, not quite like the one you're looking at right now, but it's going to be a first step into making a game like this, which we are going to be making later on down the line. It'll just have to be broken up probably into multiple parts, and I want to make sure you guys have more of a basis on kind of how to make it. But today, in order to get started, you're going to need an account, and you're going to need to go to Scratch.mit.edu. If you don't already have an account for Scratch, you can sign up using a link that I'll be posting along with this video. That way you can join my online classroom and post things to our studios. And but if you already have an account or you don't want to join through that link, that's totally fine. If you would still like to share what you're making, you can click copy link right here, copy the link, and then post it in our Club Hub Facebook page or anywhere else you'd like to share it. But anyway, now that we've got through that, we're going to go up here, we're going to click create and get started. So we're not going to need Scratch the cat. We can get rid of him, click that garbage can by his head. We are going to need a backdrop. So you can, if you want to go choose your own backdrop, feel free. I'm going to make my own. Let's see here. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to make my own, so I'm going to click right here, rectangle, nice and centered. If whatever you do use as your background, you are going to need to go like this. You're going to need to go to the backdrops, the paintbrush right here, and you're going to need to make a rectangle, and we'll make it that red color right there, and we'll draw it, we'll leave it just, I think, right there. Yeah, just like that. That'll be kind of a fail state, so if any of the enemies starting at this side of the screen here, they're going to be starting on the right side and moving towards the left. If any of them reach this this here, we're going to get a game over. But after you've done that, we're going to go and we're going to choose our sprite. Again, if you'd want to make your own, feel free, but I'm just going to go choose something here. I'm thinking I'm going to go with this ladybug. It's a little too big, so I'm going to go here to events, go when green flag clicked, I'll go to looks, and set size to, let's say 70%. If I'm going too fast at all in this video, I know I'm going to try to pack a lot into not a whole lot of time, so just pause it, look at what I've done there, catch up, rewind if you need to. Yeah, I am going to kind of try to speed along here. After you've done that, we're going to go to motion, because we're going to need our sprite facing this direction here. So I'm going to go point in direction. I think 0 is right. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to need to pick where it starts, so drag your sprite to where you'd like it to start. I think that looks okay. Then after you've dragged it to where you'd like it to start, you can grab this go to X and Y block under motion. I'm just going to make that move over a little bit more. Actually, I'll make it start at Y0 so it's nice and centered. There we go. Yeah, so now whatever we do, our sprite will always come back right to this spot after we click this green flag to start our game. After you've done that, we're going to need, before we do anything else, we'll need our sprite to move up and down along this line. So we'll go to Control, grab a forever loop block, and just snap it on right underneath. Go to XY, make sure it's not under your green flag and this stuff's not in the middle of it. We'll put it right there, and then we'll go to if blank then, grab 2 of those, make sure you're not putting them inside of one another so it doesn't look like that, just one on top of the other, but inside of your forever block. Then you'll go to sensing, and we're going to go key space pressed. Grab 2 of those and put them inside of the blank in between if and then. It'll highlight white. The bottom one, I'm going to select down arrow. The top one, I'm going to select up arrow. If you don't have arrows on your device, if you're using like a notebook or something like that, or a smaller laptop, you can change it to like W or W and S or R and F, whatever you'd really like that you're going to remember. Then we'll go down to change Y by, put change Y by block inside of each of your if-thens, and the top one you'll need a positive value. I'm going to change it to 7. The bottom one will need to be the same number but with a minus sign in front. It'll be a negative. So one's moving positively up, one's moving negative, it's moving down. You can click your green flag, try it out, make sure it works. If not, just take a look at my screen there and see if anything looks a little bit different. After that, we're going to need a projectile. We're going to need something we're shooting, like a blast or a fireball or something like that. So you're going to go choose a sprite, and we're going to paint one. So you're going to click on this paintbrush right there. Then I'm going to go here to pick fill. I'll go, I think, in an orange. There we go. Then I'm going to grab this circle here. I don't want an outline, so I'm going to click this line there. I'm going to hold down Shift as I draw so it makes a nice even circle. If you don't hold down Shift, it'll kind of make an oval, which I mean is fine for what we're doing, but that's not what I'm going to be doing. Anyway, well, maybe I do want an outline actually, so I can line up my. I'm going to turn on my outline just so I can line up my tail that I'm going to be making here. So I'm going to grab this line tool and just draw. There we go. Then I'm going to convert this all to a bitmap so it'll look kind of pixelated, which I like. Then I'm going to grab the paint bucket, fill this all in, and paintbrush to just fill in those 2 little spots I'm missing. There you go. So now we got this fireball here. Again, it's a little bit too big, so I'm going to go to events. When green flag clicked, I'm going to go. Oops. I'm going to go looks, and let's set size to. Let's see, maybe 60%. That's not too bad. I'll go a little bit bigger. 75. Okay. After you clicked green flag, hang on a second here. So there we go. Now we have our bug, we have our projectile. We're going to need to make it, we're going to make it clone itself. So what we're going to do here, we're going to grab hide under looks, right under there, just like that, and then we're going to go control, scroll down to when I start as clone, drag that there into your workspace, and go over to looks. We will make it show, so when it starts as the clone you can see it. We'll go move, go to motion, and then we'll go to random position and point towards mouse pointer. Grab those. Then I click change random position to Ladybug2 or whatever the name of your character you're playing as is, and we're going to point towards Ladybug2 or whatever you've named your character. I'm also going to change the sprite name to call it Blast. Alright, then we're going to go to control, grab a forever block, and grab 2 if-then blocks. Alright. We're not going to use those just yet. The last thing we will do though is go back up to motion and grab move 10 steps. So what we're going to need to do here is make it so our blast actually shows up. And you know what? I am going to change this to 70. It's a little bit smaller. Okay. So we're we're going to go to Ladybug. Alright, we're going to go to Events, and when space key pressed, grab that block, put it in your workspace, then we'll scroll down to Control, and grab this Create Clone of Myself block, snap it on underneath space key, and instead of cloning myself, I'm going to clone the blast tool. Now if you see this bug my face, I've got kind of like a burpy kind of mouth going. So what I'm going to do is go to Looks. I'm going to grab Switch Costume to Ladybug B. Yeah, Ladybug B has like a kind of a closed mouth. If you want to, like even if you're picking a sprite, choosing a sprite that's pre-made, you can kind of decorate them yourself. Like you could go in here, and I could use this paintbrush to select that color and give myself kind of like some angry eyes or something. Maybe I'll do that a little bit later. You guys can play around with it after you're done. Really make your characters your own. But I'm going to have it switch costume to Ladybug B. That way he'll start with the that kind of surprised mouth. And then over here, I'm going to create clone of Blast, switch costume to Ladybug A. Then we'll go Control, wait 1 second, change that to, let's say, 0.4, and then grab another, switch costume to, and that one will be Ladybug B. So he starts with a closed mouth, we shoot a blast, opens his mouth, but you can see, the blast there starting over top of our bug, so it doesn't really look like they're coming from his mouth like he's shooting them. It looks like they're coming from behind him and just going over top. So we'll go to Looks, and we'll go scroll down and grab this Go to Front Layer, put that under when green flag clicked, so that the Ladybug is on top of everything else in our game. So the sprite, the blast, looks like it's coming from his mouth, but really it's just coming from underneath him, and you can't really tell. But then we've got this problem where all our blasts are just piling up there on the end. And they're not, it looks like they're just kind of stopping, and then they're frozen there. So we're going to click on our blast again. One thing that's important, guys, is make sure whatever sprite we're working on, you have it highlighted blue down here. That way, because if I'm trying to make changes to my Ladybug, but I'm selected on my blast, it's not going to work. Same thing goes for your background. But anyway, we're going to select blast, going to go to sensing, grab this touching mouse pointer, put it in the first if then, change mouse pointer to edge, then we'll go to control and delete this clone. There we go. So now, oops. Oh, I see. Okay. So when we go to our Ladybug, it's deleting it. So maybe if I change the size to 60, yeah, there we go. So my blast is a little bit too big, so when it was going to the Ladybug, when it started as a clone, it was touching this back edge right here and making it delete itself before it even fired. If you're having that problem, try making your blast a little bit smaller, try moving your character a little bit forwards, then it's not touching that edge. Anyway, there we go. So now we're shooting the blast. It disappears when it gets to the other side. Next thing we're going to need to do is make an enemy. So you're going to go choose a sprite. Again, if you'd like to make your own, go right ahead. Let's see, who can I use here? I guess I'll go with another ghost. I like those ghosts. So, holy smokes, that's big. What we're going to need to do here is go to Events, when green flag clicked, drag it over. Same thing we've already been doing. I'm going to want to go to Looks, make him the size I want, set size 2. I'm thinking 50% for this guy. Yep, not too bad. Alright, then we're going to want him to, well first I guess we should pick the costume we want. I'm thinking Ghost B. So I'm going to go to Looks again, switch costume to Ghost B, set size, we'll want him hidden, because we'll be cloning him a whole bunch of times, and we'll be starting all along this edge here. But we'll make him hide, then we'll go to wait 1 second, and instead of just creating a clone of himself. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here to events. I'm going to broadcast a message. I'm going to go broadcast, new message. We'll change that to spawn. Okay, so then we'll grab when I receive message 1, change that to spawn. Yours might say something different, but you need the when I receive block. Then we'll go to control and create clone myself. Okay, so we've done that. We'll grab when I start as a clone, just like we did for our blast. Make sure you got your ghost highlighted. When I start as a clone, looks, we will want him to show, and got the costume we want. We'll go motion, go to X and Y. Let's see what we want our X value to be. I'm going to guess 240. Yeah, let's change this X to 240. We'll go to operators, the green circle, pick random, put the pick random block inside your Y value, change this to -180 to 180, and that's where he'll go when we clone him. Let's just see if it works there. Yep, so he's popping up there. Okay, then we will need to grab a forever loop, put that block right underneath, go to XY, make sure it's not inside. Then we'll grab this if blank then else. So this one looks like a Big Mac. Grab that, put it inside your forever block. Then after that, go to sensing. We'll go touching color, put that inside there. And I'm going to go to my blast right there. I'm going to make it show. So I'm going to click this eye right there. I'll go back to my ghost, click on the color inside my touching color block, click on this eyedropper tool right there, and there we go. So I'm going to select that color. So now if it's touching that color, again, we could just make it delete the sprite, but instead of that, I'm going to go back up here to events. We'll broadcast this message, let's say hit. Broadcast message hit. Otherwise, so if it's not touching our blast, then we're going to have it move. We'll go change Y by, let's say -5 would be an okay start. So whatever value we put in here, that's how fast he's going to move. How big the number is how fast he's going to move. And we're going to need a negative in front of it because we want him to move left. And you can picture this is like a grid here. So starting in the middle is 0, 0. Y is up and down, X is left and right. As you get higher, your Y value goes up. As you get lower, your Y value goes down into the negatives. Same as left to right with the X value. So we'll change Y by -5. Alright, now let's see. Oops, I don't grab the change Y by block. Get rid of that. We need the change X by block because we're trying to change X, his X value. Still -5 though. There we go. Alright. But we didn't actually broadcast anything. Or hit when we broadcast it, it doesn't do anything. So we're going to go over to events. When I receive spawn, change spawn to hit. Then here's where we can, let's get kind of fun with it. Let's go looks. I'm going to switch costume to Ghost D, because I think that's the one where it looks like he's, yeah, it looks like he's running away. Switch costume to Ghost D, and then let's go change color effect by 25. I'm going to change color to Ghost, and then we'll go motion, glide 1 seconds to X, 240, and then operators, pick a random 1 to 10. So let's say 80 to -80. There we go. And then this, we'll broadcast spawn again. Move this over so you can get more room. We'll broadcast spawn again so that we'll make a new clone, and we'll delete this clone. Let's see if that all worked. Alright, he's running over, goes that way, but not coming back. Okay. Let's see. Oh, well, first, you know what we need to do? We got to go over here to looks. We're going to have to switch the costume back to Ghost B. So when I start as a clone, show, switch costume to Ghost B, and we'll clear graphic effects. Okay. Let's see if that works now. Yeah, there we go, and they come back. Alright, the one thing is that our blast carries through, so what we're going to do, we'll go to blast, and then in our other if-then block that we left blank, we'll go back to sensing, grab touching mouse pointer, change it to ghost, control, and delete this clone. Actually, you know what we're going to need to do though? We'll go grab a wait block, change 1 second to 0.01 seconds. It's not going to be, you're not really going to notice that it's any, longer than 0, but the Scratch will, the game will. So that way, otherwise, if we didn't have that there, it would delete it as soon as it touched it, and it might not run the rest of the script where it broadcasts the message when the blast hits the ghost. But yeah, there we go. So now we'll do a couple things. First, we're going to make a new sprite, painted, and you know what, we'll go like this. I'm going to go to my backdrop, this red block we made here. I'm going to click my cursor right there, my select tool, highlight, click on my my red bar. I'm not going to move it, but I'm going to make sure it's highlighted blue. Click copy. Then I'm going to go back to Sprite 1, the new one I just made. I'm going to paste it. I'll drag it right there. I'm going to get rid of this outline. Okay, and then I'm just going to click it here and drag it right over there. Now, because we had our sprite move to the front, we should still be able to see it just fine with that underneath, but then we can go like this with Sprite 1. We'll go when green flag clicked, forever, if then, to sensing, touching, ghost, stop all. So now if our ghost makes it over, if we miss and he touches a block, it stops the whole game. We're getting a little bit long, so I'm not going to do anything else, but I will say if you want to add some ghosts, a real easy way to do that is just duplicate. So now you have a copy of your ghost, and I would just have it just change a couple things here. So maybe what you could do is go to control. Oh, you know what, we'll do one more thing. Doesn't matter which sprite you click on. Go to variables. We're going to make a new variable called score. Okay. Grab set my variable to 0. Change my variable to score and put it underneath a green flag clicked. Any green flag clicked will do. It's all good. And set score to 0. Make sure it's not inside of forever though. Then what we can do is, so when we broadcast hit, we'll just go like this. I'm going to do this on Sprite 1 just so it's kind of separate from everything else. Go to events, when I receive hit, my variables, change my variable by, change score, let's say let's change it by 5. So now every time it receives hit, oh, why did I just duplicate everything? So when it receives hit, it changes score by 5. Oh, it's duplicated because we made 2 ghosts. That's why. So that anyway, what I was going to say is if you don't want 2 ghosts spawning at the exact same time. A real easy way to fix that is just change this wait 1 seconds to like wait 1.5 seconds, and then there will be a 5-second delay between. Oh, that didn't work. Get rid of that. Oops. Oh, no, that would be why. So if you are duplicating, because we just had this whole broadcast message, we're going to need, I'm going to need my wait 1 seconds here. We're going to need a new message, so we'll do spawn 2. So spawn 2, when I receive, spawn 2, broadcast, hit 2, when I receive, hit 2, broadcast, spawn 2. That way it's not just duplicating every single time. But we are going to also need to go here to blast, duplicate you can just right click on the if then block that's touching the ghost and change this ghost to ghost 2. Then that block will be deleted as well. Let's see. There we go. So now it's a little bit harder. You got 2 ghosts going at once. You have to shoot that one, run up there. If you don't want it to start out as hard, again, you can just change this wait 1.5. You could change that to wait 15 seconds. You've been playing for a while. Alternatively, you could grab an if then block and put it inside of, oops. You grab an if then block and put it right underneath this forever. No, I did that wrong again. I was going to say you can go here to operators. You can put this greater than 50. You can put that in there and then put your score, this score bubble there. So if your score is greater than 50, then you'll broadcast spawn 2. So you'll need to put it in a forever loop. So it's going forever. You should also, if you have it going forever and you're broadcasting this message, it would be a good idea to put a stop this script. Just like that. So let's see if this works before we get too far. So I just came up with this kind of on the fly there. So now when this green flag is clicked for Ghost 2, this script is going to run forever. So it's constantly going to be checking if your score is greater than 50. If it is, it's going to wait 1.5 seconds, then broadcast spawn 2 to spawn this ghost, and then it'll stop running this script. So it's not just spawning an extra ghost every 1.5 seconds, which, I mean, if you want it to, that wouldn't be the worst thing. It would just get progressively harder as you go. But there, this seems to be working. And let's just make sure, let's get our score up to 50, make sure it still works. But you guys, you can also go and change other things, like you can make it so every time your ghost spawns, it's a different color, using some of the graphical effects. You can make it so when your ghosts get shot, that they change different costumes, wave their arms up in the air. Uh-oh. Oh, I gotta reattach this forever. Alright, but yeah, it seems to be working, so there you go, guys. And again, really make these games your own. You can change your background, go into the backdrop here and decorate it, make it look like whatever you'd like to make it look like. You can also broadcast a message. You can make a new backdrop with a game over screen, so you know, when this oh, you know what we'll also need to do? We'll need to duplicate this so that if it's touching Ghost 2, it also stops everything. But you could put in a message here that you could broadcast game over. And then in your backdrops, you could make when I receive game over, change backdrop to a game over screen that you guys could make. Change it to just by making another background and then grabbing this switch backdrop to, like that. There's all kinds of stuff you can do when you're. Make sure you're saving though as you go, because if you lose internet or something like that, it'd be awful to have to restart. But save your game, give it a name, Bug Blaster, and when you're done giving it a name, you can either see project page or you can share it so that everybody else can take a look, type in some instructions so other people know how to play your game. And then I'd love it if you guys would add it to a studio, so you can either add it here to Club Hub projects, or I'll make another studio probably called, I don't know, Bug Blaster, maybe, or lesson, I think this is lesson 7, this one's going to be maybe 8. Yeah, then just click OK. Again, if you don't want to, you can copy the link here, you can embed it somewhere, but I'd love to see what you guys are making. I hope this video wasn't too long. I think I'm going to start breaking them down into 2 parts if they're getting over half an hour, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and like I said, there's going to be some harder games coming down the line. I'll try to keep maybe the first video of the week a little bit easier, and then the second one a little bit tougher. But hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye now.